5-step listing process, and there are five steps that you want to follow in every listing presentation to maximize your chances, number one, of getting a sellable listing, and number two, of getting the listing without spending 3 hours trying to do it. Okay? Now, the longer you spend, here's something you need to pay attention to. Just think about this. We already had this conversation with Sue and Marie. We already talked a little bit about it. One of the things that happens whenever your listing presentation goes longer is you quit asking and you start telling. Does that make sense, everybody? Now, what happens to the other party, the sellers, when you're sitting down with them, and typically, are you sitting down with them when they're fresh and full of energy, or are you sitting down with them when they're tired and exhausted? Tired and exhausted, right? So, do they want to spend a long time sitting there with you?
No.
This is not the ideal way they want to spend their evening, all right? If you gave them, if they had enough glasses of wine, maybe they could learn to enjoy it over time. But the bottom line is you want to be, that if you don't keep them engaged, most of your time there, they would rather you not be there. Does that make sense, everybody?
Yes.
I get this. This is one of the things for our egos is really hard to understand. Sellers don't want you. Okay? Does this make sense? We got to realize they don't want you. They don't want you. They don't want you there. But just like you don't want a doctor when you're sick. Right? I mean, how many of you want a doctor if you're sick? No. Okay, we don't want a doctor. I mean, how many of you want to exercise? So there are a lot of things that we do because it's the means to an end, and we just have to have it. Okay? I don't want to, take a shower every day. I'd rather not have to just the time, and it's, you have to get all wet, and it's just, but you got to do it, right? So it's just a necessary part of the process. You are a necessary part of the process for the seller. So you got to understand that they want you to do this job, and they want to feel 100% confident you can do it, and that's all. And they don't need you sitting there for hours and hours talking. So the longer you spend in a listing presentation, it moves from asking to telling. Okay? And the more you talk, the less likely it is you're going to get a sellable listing presentation with full commission. Okay? Because the longer you talk, the more the house value goes up and the more your commission value goes down. Just that can happen. Okay? So here is the 5-step listing process that will allow you to go in there efficiently and effectively, get the job done, have them 100% connect with them, have them 100% comfortable and confident in your ability to get the home sold, to trust you, to sign the contract, and help them get on with their life, which is what they want, right? Is that what they want? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Now watch, I just talked for about 2 minutes straight without any interaction from you guys, and you already checked out. Did you realize that? And then when I asked for feedback, it was like, is that right? And nobody responded. Did you sense that? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Everybody say yes?
Yes.
Okay, so watch this. 5-step listing process. Number one, pre-qualify 100% of the time. Pre-qualify 100% of the time. Now, what are you looking for in the pre-qualifying script? When you're going through the seller information sheet, what are you looking for? There are 3 things you're looking for.
Motivation.
Number 1, motivation.
Personality.
Number 2, personality style. What type of person is this? Okay? And number 3,
Objections.
I'm looking for what the objections are going to be that I'm going to have to address. Now watch this. Just the fact that they bring them up, you may never have to address them. Because they bring them up if they bring them up in the pre-qualifying, and they say, well, what's your commission? Well, obviously commission is one of the things we'll discuss when we meet. Fair enough? Great. When you get there, if your presentation is strong enough, see, here's a great presentation. The better the presentation, the fewer objections you will have. Because the presentation itself handles most of the objections. Just like their question, well, I want to know exactly what you're going to do to sell my home. When you show up, if your presentation is confident enough and powerful enough, they just make a very natural assumption. Obviously, she knows what she's doing. I mean, I just trust that she knows. I just trust that he knows what he's doing. I don't even need to ask what they're going to do because I trust them. Does that make sense?
Yes.
The more you trust somebody, the less explanation you need about what they're doing or what they're going to do.
Right.
Okay? And that's the power of a powerful presentation. So one, pre-qualifying helps do that. Pre-qualify 100% of the time and ask every question that applies on the pre-qualifying script.
When you say pre-qualified, do you mean the seller's
The seller
questionnaire?
information sheet, yeah, the seller
Okay.
questionnaire. It's where you're asking the right questions to find motivation, to find out what the objections are, and it gives you the opportunity to have that conversation to find out what their personality style is. So when you meet with them, you'll know, do I need to be more detailed? Do I need to cut to the chase? Am I going to have to deal with them being really, really talkative and so forth? How do I prepare so that my energy level can match theirs and so forth? It's way easier to do that. Okay. Number 2 is mail or deliver a pre-listing package. Preferably deliver. Mail or deliver a pre-listing package. Now people ask, can you email it? You can email it, but what's the problem if I email it?
They may not open it.
Okay, they probably aren't going to look at it. Everybody gets so many emails, and if you put it, you got to put it the stuff as attachments, and it's just they will or they won't. But chances are they won't. If you deliver it, are the chances better they'll look at it? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. If you mail it, FedEx it. Because what does everybody do as soon as they get a FedEx package?
Open it.
Open it, just like that. Why? What comes FedEx?
Good
Important stuff.
Good stuff, important stuff. You don't get junk mail FedEx. Okay? Does that make sense? And remember, you're interviewing for a $20,000 paycheck, and don't worry about spending $10 for a FedEx package.
Right.
Does that make sense to everybody?
Yeah.
And that's way better marketing than the other things you may spend $10 for. Okay, so I mean that part is a piece of cake. Number 3 is call back to confirm. Call back to confirm. And you call back and say, hey Warren, Kevin Ward, Keller Williams, you're just calling to let you know I'm very excited about seeing you tonight at this afternoon at 4 o'clock, and wanted to make sure that you and your wife are both going to be there and ready to go. Okay? I'm excited about coming out and seeing you. Call back to confirm. Number 4, show up 100%. Or as Mike Ferry says, show up physically, emotionally, and mentally. You got to be there. You got to be all there. Whatever phone calls you got on the way over, whatever the traffic was like, you got to leave the traffic in the car, you got to leave the crisis in the car, all the drama, all of that. When you get there, have you ever been on a presentation and you weren't there? Okay? You've got to be there. You've got to be 100% in the moment with the sellers. They're present. Can they tell when you're not there?
Oh,
Yes.
If you keep looking at your phone, while you're doing the presentation, I'm sorry guys, I'm expecting a real important phone call.
Yeah.
What'd you just tell them?
They're not,
You're not important.
You're not important and I'm not all here. Okay? Whatever it is, if it's that important, then can't reschedule the listing presentation. If whatever drama you have going on in your life is that important, then, if your mom is having heart surgery, reschedule the appointment, okay? Don't be there waiting for the phone call.
Right.
Okay? It's not fair to the sellers. Let the people, if you got something else going on, let them know. I'm going to be in an appointment for the next hour, and as soon as I'm out, I'll call you, whatever. That makes sense to everybody?
Yeah.
It is so disrespectful when you have a phone in a presentation.
It is disrespectful to be looking at a phone when you're talking to anybody.
Absolutely. Which we all do. Okay? So, we got to stop it. All right, so everybody look at me up here and say, stop it.
Stop it.
There you go. Number 5. Follow your listing script 100%. Or in the words of Mike Ferry, follow the script verbatim. Okay, 100%. Have a copy with you guys. Watch this. Don't ever try to do a script without having it with you. Okay? I mean, even when you know it 100%, you should always have the script with you and in front of you. Okay? Just because. It's easier if you do get taken off to say, where was I? Boom, now I know back where I am. Okay? Even when you're prospecting on the phones, you should have your scripts posted. If you're door knocking, carry a clipboard that has seller information sheets or buyer information sheets so that when you find a lead, you actually have something to write it on rather than figuring out, do you have a napkin I can borrow? Okay? Don't do that. Have a notepad that's got your scripts on it, and it's got the information sheet, so now if I get I've got a lead, I can take notes. And I also know what to ask them because I have the scripts. And you don't need to be reading the script, but you need to have it there to refer to if you need it. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay, any questions on any of that? If you will follow that, what it allows you to do is, one, it allows you to only go on motivated listing presentations where the sellers are actually in a position to make a decision. It lets them know why you're coming, okay? And the script works, because this, look, what I'm teaching you, a RockStar listing presentation doesn't work with unmotivated sellers, okay? So it lets me know if these people aren't going to put their house on the market for 2 or 3 months, I don't need to go on a listing appointment. Okay? And I'll teach you what to say and how to say it. Part of the stuff we'll do is how do you not go on an unqualified listing appointment? Because it doesn't make any sense. There's no reason ever to go on an unmotivated, unqualified listing presentation. Did everybody get that?
Yes.
Okay? Now you'll have managers and coaches and agents that will argue that. There is no reason to go on an unqualified, unmotivated listing presentation ever. Okay? And we'll be talking about, well, how do you deal with that? I don't want to make them feel like they're not important. Well, of course. But if I'm healthy, the heart surgeon isn't going to see me. Okay? Does he care about my heart? Yes. But he can't help me. Is this making sense to everybody?
Yeah.
You can't help them. They don't need your friendship. Okay? They really don't. They don't need it. Okay? If they need friendship, you're probably not the best one to do it because you have enough drama. Everybody with me? Okay, so, any questions on any of that? I wrote down 3 real important words up here that we'll be talking about a lot, just always in your brain. Attitude, approach, expectation. That's the kind of approach, that's what you've got to have going into the game. Every time you walk in, your attitude has got to be positive, excited, enthusiastic. Your approach has got to be everything from the way you dress, the way you carry yourself, from the way you interact with them. Okay? And then your expectation. I get the listing every time. You are my next listing. All people say yes to me. You will say yes to me. That's your expectation is, I came here to help you guys get your home sold. I came here to help you guys get to San Diego or get into your bigger house. Whatever it is, my expectation isn't tonight. They're going to make a decision to hire me to sell their house. Attitude, approach, expectation. Got it?
Yep.
So everybody say, it's showtime, baby.
It's showtime.